You hear a sound behind you. You don't know what it is. You haven't turned around yet, but your heart is already beating faster. Your muscles have already tensed. Your eyes have already widened just slightly, pulling in more light. You did all of that before a single conscious thought crossed your mind. That reaction didn't come from you. It came from something inside you that is far, far older than you are. And understanding where it came from will change the way you see almost everything you feel. Here's the strange truth. Your brain is not a modern machine running ancient software. It is an ancient machine trying to survive in a world it was never built for. And every single day, it makes decisions based on threats that no longer exist. You are, in the most literal neurological sense, still being hunted. The human brain has been shaped by roughly 300,000 years of Homo sapiens history. But the deeper structures, the ones that actually run your fear response, your threat detection, your startle reflex, those are far older. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping the fear circuit of the brain and found something that should unsettle you. The part of your brain that responds to danger, a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala, processes threat signals before the thinking part of your brain even receives the information. Before your prefrontal cortex, the part that reasons and reflects and watches videos like this, before it even knows something is happening, your body has already acted. Ledoux called this the low road. A fast, rough signal bypasses your rational mind entirely and goes straight to the body. Heart rate up, breathing shallow, pupils wide, muscles primed. You didn't decide any of that. It was decided for you by something that has been keeping your ancestors alive for millions of years. Now consider where you actually are right now. You are probably sitting down. You are almost certainly indoors. The temperature is regulated. Nothing is trying to eat you. The statistical probability that you are, in this moment, in genuine mortal danger is extraordinarily low. And yet, your amygdala does not know that. It cannot know that. It was not designed to assess probability. It was designed to keep you alive long enough to reproduce. So it fires, constantly, at emails, at traffic, at a notification sound, at a stranger glancing at you on the subway, at the thought of a difficult conversation you haven't had yet. This is not a glitch. This is the entire point. Evolutionary psychologist Randolph Nesse developed what he called the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector, he explained, is not designed to be right most of the time. It is designed to never miss a real fire, even if that means going off when you burn toast 200 times in a row. The cost of 200 false alarms is far lower than the cost of one missed fire. Your brain operates on the exact same logic. Activating your fear response when there is no real threat costs you some stress, some discomfort, maybe a racing heart. Failing to activate it when there is a real threat costs you your life. So your brain has been calibrated over hundreds of thousands of years to err on the side of fear, always. Think about what that looked like for your ancestors. Picture a flat, open landscape. Grass stretching to the horizon. Your ancestor moves through it carefully, head turning, eyes scanning. The slightest rustle in the grass triggers a full cascade of neurochemical responses. Cortisol and adrenaline flood the body. Blood is redirected from the digestive system to the limbs. The body prepares to run or to fight. Was it a predator? Maybe. Was it the wind? Probably. Did it matter? No. Because the cost of assuming wind and being wrong is death. The cost of assuming predator and being wrong is a few seconds of unnecessary panic. Over millions of generations, the nervous systems that survived were the nervous systems that panicked first and asked questions later. You inherited that nervous system. Psychologist Martin Seligman demonstrated this through a phenomenon he called biological preparedness. Humans, he found, are not equally afraid of all things. We develop phobias to snakes, to spiders, to heights, to open spaces, to the dark, to faces showing anger, far more easily than we develop phobias to things that are statistically far more dangerous in the modern world, like cars or electrical outlets or processed food. The things your brain learned to fear in milliseconds are the things that killed your ancestors for millions of years. The things that actually kill people today are far newer. Your brain simply hasn't had time to update. This is why horror films work. Not because they show you anything genuinely threatening in your life, but because they activate the same ancient circuit. Darkness, a sudden sound, eyes watching from the distance, a figure moving at the edge of your vision. Your amygdala does not know it's a movie. It responds as if you are in the tall grass with something circling you. You paid money for that feeling. Because on some level, that feeling is deeply, uncomfortably familiar. But here is where it gets stranger. The threats your brain is scanning for today are almost never physical. A lion is not waiting outside your office. A rival tribe is not circling your neighborhood. And yet, the same ancient circuitry that was designed to protect you from physical danger is now being triggered by social threats, by the fear of being rejected, the fear of being seen as inadequate, the fear of being excluded from the group. This is not a coincidence. For most of human evolutionary history, social rejection was a death sentence. If your tribe cast you out, you died. If you lost status in the group, your access to food, to protection, to mates collapsed. The social world and the survival world were the same world, and so the brain treats them the same way. Neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger conducted research that showed something remarkable. The same neural regions that process physical pain are activated when a person experiences social rejection. Being excluded from a group, being publicly humiliated, being ghosted, the brain does not distinguish these from a wound to the body. The pain is real. The distress signal is real. The threat response is real. Your brain is not being dramatic when you feel social anxiety. It is being ancient. This explains why criticism feels like an attack, why being left out of a meeting can ruin your entire day, why public speaking produces a fear response comparable to standing at the edge of a cliff. Your nervous system is not calibrated to modern stakes. It is calibrated to the stakes of a small tribe on a vulnerable landscape where every social signal carried survival weight. You are walking around in the year you were born, with a brain built for a world that disappeared thousands of years ago. And here is the twist that should actually give you some relief. Once you understand what is happening, you can start to separate the signal from the alarm. The alarm is old. The alarm is loud. But the alarm is not always telling the truth about the danger level. Ledoux himself spent years emphasizing that the conscious mind can intervene. The prefrontal cortex, the slow road, the thinking brain can evaluate the threat after the amygdala has already fired. It can say, "This is not the tall grass. There is no predator here. This is an email. This is a presentation. This is a difficult conversation." The alarm still sounds. You cannot stop that, but you can learn to hear it and not obey it blindly. In a sense, the most sophisticated thing a modern human brain can do is something your ancestors never had to do. You have to feel the fear and consciously choose your response to it. You have to override the ancient protocol, not suppress it, not deny it. Just look at it clearly and decide whether it is true. You are carrying millions of years of survival intelligence inside your skull. And tonight, when you hear a sound behind you before your mind even registers it, when your heart jumps before you've had a single thought, you will know what that is. Not weakness, not irrationality, not a broken nervous system. It is the oldest, most faithful part of you, still doing its job, still scanning the grass, still keeping watch, still convinced, after all this time, that something out there is hunting you.